Have you ever said to yourself, it always happens to me, and then turn around and it happens? That happens to me all the time. I think something, and then next thing you know, it happens. We have to have a positive perspective on life so that way we can have positive outcomes. Some things that I think happens when you have a positive perspective on life is that your self-esteem gets a boost and it gives you motivation to succeed. When your internal environment is positive, that reflects your external environment. To clarify, from David J. Schwartz's book, The Magic of Thinking Big, he says, build castles, don't dig graves. This means don't sabotage anything before you even try. So let's say you want to buy a house. You want to buy a house, but then you don't really have the best job. So you tell yourself, well, I can't afford a house. But that's negative thinking. If you think more positively about the situation, then maybe some of the things that you can do will help you to get the house. So you think positive about, I'm going to get a house. So then you make the right choices to get to that goal. You'll have a higher self-esteem, which will help you to finish school. And maybe even if you have a higher self-esteem, you will go after that job that you wanted, but you weren't sure you could do. But maybe with the higher self-esteem, you'd have more of confidence to do that job. So it's really important to keep your positive perspective on life. That way your self-esteem is much higher. When your self-esteem is higher, you have a lot more motivation to succeed. You'll want to finish school and get the dream job so you can make more money, so you can buy the house. Motivation is key. If you have a negative perspective on life, then you're just going to be down in the dumps. You're not going to want to work hard, and you're going to make poor decisions with choices, and that'll affect your outcome. So my thing is, negative thinking can lead to negative outcomes. If you have a positive perspective on life, then positive outcomes will come about. So in Dale Carnegie's book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, he says, our life is what our thoughts make it. And this brings me to my next point. So have you guys ever heard of the law of attraction? It's from a book and movie called The Secret. And in this book, it talks about the law of attraction. The law of attraction basically says whatever you focus on in your mind becomes your reality. So if you're focusing on bad stuff like, oh, the window broke, my car's broke down, or this or that, more things are gonna happen like that. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't have enough money to do this. And then turn around, something else breaks and you have to now pay for that. So when your positive perspective on life isn't so positive, your life isn't going to be so positive. You have to have a positive perspective on life because that's what your life is going to be. So you want to constantly think good things, even if the situation is negative. So say you want to buy the house, but you don't have a good job. You can still keep a positive perspective on life and still work towards that goal. It might take a little bit longer, and that's okay, but you'll eventually get there. But you're not going to get there if you're thinking bad thoughts. So in Caroline Miss's book, Anatomy of the Spirit, she says what drains the spirit drains the body, and what fuels the spirit fuels the body. So if you're putting positive thoughts in your mind, then you're going to get positive outcomes. Now, with the law of attraction, a lot of people think, oh, I want a house. And they think, boom, the house just falls there for them. And that's not the way it works. You have to really work for your things. But if you're thinking negative about all those things, then you're never going to get to that point, because you're going to say, I can't afford the house. And you'll instead spend the money on something else. Instead of putting, oh, I want this house really bad. I know I can't afford it right now, but I'm going to get this house. And you'll make the decision to save the money. So when you're thinking positively, you'll make better choices in order to get to your goals. There are so many things in life that we want to achieve, and you have to stay positive for them. It gives your self-esteem a boost, and you get the motivation to succeed. And all that keeps your internal positive. That way your external can be positive. I urge everyone to keep a positive perspective on life, because you have to remember, the energy that you put out is what you get back. So what do you want in your life?